Find the quotient h of x of the linear function f of x equals x minus 1 divided by the quadratic function g of x equals x squared minus 7x plus 6 symbolically, and verify the equation graphically. Okay, so let's first do this symbolically. So we can just write, well, h of x equals the quotient of f of x and g of x. And so f of x is just x minus 1, and g of x is x squared minus 7x plus 6. And so to simplify this at all, we can factor the bottom. And so we're looking for what? Two numbers multiply to 6 and add to the middle term negative 7. So the numbers that work for both of those is negative 1 and negative 6, since those multiply to positive 6 and would add to negative 7. And so then our factors would be x minus 1 and x minus 6 using those two values that we found. And so then simplifying this, then we see that x minus 1 divides by x minus 1 to equal 1. So we're left with 1 divided by x minus 6 equals h of x. Okay, so that is our equation for our quotient. And then to verify with our graph, then we'll need to look at a few things here. So let's first just pull up our graph. So here we have graphed our blue line is f of x, the green line is g of x, and then our orange line is h of x. And so let's first look at the asymptotes that should be happening in our equation. And so the x asymptote, or the vertical asymptote, should be equal to c divided by b. And in this case, c is 6, the number subtracted from the x term, and b is the coefficient of the x term, which is 1. So 6 divided by 1 is just 6. So x equals 6 is the vertical asymptote, and then our y asymptote is going to be equal to the d value. And in this case, since there's nothing added or subtracted on the end after the fraction, then d is just equal to 0. So y will be equal to 0 for our asymptote. So marking those on the graph, then y equals 0 is right here, and then x equals 6 is right here. And so we see that that is an asymptote for our h of x, the orange lines there. And then let's go ahead and also test a point here. So we just need to pick an x value and then find the point on all three lines. So let's pick x equals 5 because we'll have integers here. So let's pick x equals 5. So at x equals 5, f of x is 4, g of x is negative 4, and then h of x is negative 1. And so then to check this, f of x, which was 4, divided by g of x, negative 4, will equal negative 1. And that is the same thing as the point on our graph for h of x. And so that does verify with our graph. So let's summarize our answer. Our answer is the quotient is h of x equals 1 divided by x minus 6. The graph of h of x verifies it is a rational function.